Testing, testing. Is this thing on? I believe so. I believe so. Testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second, guys. We're still waiting on MagGamer to join up. I'm getting things set up on his end, but welcome everybody to the stream. How's everybody doing tonight? Yo. Alright, hold on. I just joined the PlayStation parties for his stream to also hear what's going on in the podcast to help him out a bit so he doesn't have to go through too much troubleshooting on his end. But now I'm going to be calling him on Discord, so I may be hearing things double, so I might repeat myself a couple of times, but that's fine for me. I don't care. As long as the stream hears it and it comes out clearly for you guys, we should be good. Alright, I'm going to call you on the Discord. Cool. Oh, perfect. You have a green screen.
Yeah, but right now, it's not supposed to be on this camera. The way I got it set up, I crunch it. So I can't crunch it while I'm on the screen, so that's why it looks the way it does.
I can actually crunch it and give you a background. So if you're watching my stream and you see how I'm set up, I'm going to just set you up in a similar manner.
Yeah, cool.
Alright.
Are we live right now? Is everybody watching us?
Yeah. They should watch us and hear us. I'm just getting things set up, but I'd rather it, be like a little icebreaker. We could just talk about ourselves a little bit while I'm setting this up, and then once everything is set and done, we're good to go.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about you, you're going to talk about me.
Overall, in general, man, I meant the last time we had a Kcast, it's been a little minute, so we have a lot to catch up with. I mean, I see you grow a whole facial hair, beard, and everything now. I remember last time you had it shaved. Last time you looked like a little baby boy. You had it shaved completely.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do again next week. Wednesday morning.
Alright, let me see. Display capture, new scene.
So I got some things to say. First of all, Kcode is pretty much anybody that doesn't know on my stream. Let me check my stream real quick. I don't have nothing displayed on right now. It's terrible. So if I turn the camera on my stream, what happens is it turns the camera off over there. I mean, it doesn't activate over here if I put it over there. So it's one or the other. I'm gonna keep it like this.
Hold on, I'm gonna crop you a little bit here.
Perfect. Alright, so Kcode is a awesome
Too much cropping.
that I really a long time ago I was trying to get a group to get your fans or officially manager named Robert Keeler came into play. We discussed it a few years, and then finally 2015 we decided to go ahead and create it, and this opened the door for a bunch of content creators to come together and just play the games they love. That being said, it's not just for Metal Gear. There's been a whole grand opening, as you can see on my stream. Donor Vendors, Castlevania, PES Soccer Series.
Oh, that actually looks better than I thought it would look.
So people are just fan of that. They basically just put us together in a group for Twitch, where would be twitch.tv/team/Kcode, something like that. Somebody Google it.
I have it as a command in my chat. You can just do !Kcode in chat to see the Twitch team. I'm probably going to bring it up too in a little bit just so you can see who's currently live in the team. We can talk about that a little bit more if you want to follow anybody on the team.
No. So that's perfect. So that's exactly what it will each other. naughty or nothing crazy like everybody be thinking. This is just a manager who decided to support the community with a game. Now we don't play the game. You see, I'm currently on the division today. I play everything and really enjoy it, but I am a hardcore Metal Gear fan, and Baby Joker as well is a hardcore Metal Gear fan. He plays a lot of games. Build a space and what edit the stream a little bit, gets this thing going. But that's what you can expect from Kcode. And go on there, you're gonna see a bunch of different streamers, different games. And we do have the benefit, these are the one of the few benefits, to have Konami give us a copy of the current game that they're releasing, sometimes extra copies. We do events with them, sponsored by them pretty much, by them giving us some free stuff to give away, whether it's swag or free games, things like that, or charity events and various things like that. So you can look out for us doing those also. Pretty much, on general, we're just streamers who do what we want, but we have to support Konami, aka Kcode team members. Have to support Konami in different ways, such as I said. Pretty much. That's the general aspect. Now, what is up with right? Am I looking at you?
Nah, you're good. No, it's the other way.
Right, it's like a wait.
Yeah, right there. You're good like that. Yeah.
Wait, it's the wrong way. You got me in the wrong way, dude.
Nah, you good.
This is you. I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about this? Talk to us about Kcode, your experience, your thoughts, what you feel like.
Yeah, so a quick introduction for me. I'm Baby Joker 0319. I actually started playing Metal Gear back when I was a little kid, and it's always been a little dream of mine to get into, I actually wanted to work for Konami as far as a gaming company. Like, I had a few gaming companies I was looking into, and I was like, yo, I want to either be like affiliated with them, work for them, or even play games for them, or be recognized by a team that is for a game that I enjoy. And when I first heard that Kcode was out there, it was actually introduced to me by somebody named Anto DeFigo. He's also a Kcode member. He was we were streaming FOBs at the time. We were playing Metal Gear Solid 5. That's when I first got into streaming Metal Gear compared to anything else. It actually started with me meeting him through Jim Addiction and Ross and other little Kcode members that we all got together, and we all just started having fun going at Metal Gear. We weren't technically going on Metal Gear Online, but we were on FOBs, which was a single player event, but we turned it kind of into a competitive thing where we're attacking each other's base, defending each other's base, and turning it into like community building events for all of our channels. And it happened to grow, and it was our own individual twist that we were able to put on it to enjoy the game. We started there, and then once I heard there was a Kcode team, I did everything in my power to get recognized. I was out there tweeting about it. I was out there saying, yo, I'm the next member coming up. I gotta meet everybody who's on the team, follow them, see what their channels are about, and just try to get myself involved in the community to become a community member. And before I knew it, I was out there running charity events with them before I was even on the team, and I was like, yo, this team is something I want to be a part of. It's really interesting, and I got to meet Mag. He always likes to play big boss. Like, if first someone comes in, he has to have the first word and be like, yo, I'm MagGamer. I was one of the originals who started in this thing. I have to let you know that before you come in here, so you already know the chain of command. But it's really cool. It was really cool though, because I was like, all right, that's cool. So I know you're the guy to go to talk to about everything that we're trying to get. If we have questions or anything that we can't get from Konami officially, that we can talk to you about it, because he's Mr. Exclusive. He has all the DMs for all the people. So I said it's really cool. So I started there, and I continued with Metal Gear, and now I'm playing. I guess you could call me Mr. Spin-off Metal Gear guy, because I don't actually have like the current equipment to go back to like PS3 and PS2 and stream like all my Metal Gear favorites. So I've been playing like the PS4 and PC versions of like Metal Gear Rising, Metal Gear Survive, and basically the spin-off games. And even with all of the the drama that's went along with it, I feel like I've actually grown a nice little community and met team members that support and also enjoy just Metal Gear games in general. I recently got a PlayStation 1 Classic, so I was so excited to stream Metal Gear Solid 1 all over again. It brought back memories, and even though I had a little bit of bugs and the game save data erased on me at Psycho Mantis and I had to start from the beginning, it was kind of like Limbo, but it was definitely enjoyable. And I was like, this game was something that I fell in love with, and I would play it over and over again, no matter how many times I have to play it. But it was really fun, and I thought that's pretty cool. That I feel like we're going back in time the further we go up into the future, because I feel like the games that I used to play back then are either being revamped or remade into games of the future that people are putting ideas into to recreate.
That's pretty deep. I'm actually gonna cut off my shit. So my thing is all right. Now here we're gonna go back where we're one from what you think. So there was this guy Antonio. He was such a grinder, just like you were saying you were. He wasn't a member. He was trying to get on, and he would show up to my stream, show up to other streamers in the Kcode, just trying to get support and just keep pushing his envelope on Twitter, tagging the developers, tagging us, consistently just putting in the effort. I really liked that about him. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him, but I really respected that, and it made me, recommend him and say, "Yo, we gotta get this guy on. He's putting his heart and soul into it." That's some rare thing for people. There's people who have natural talents, and there's people who have the work ethic to be great. For example, recently Tiger Woods won another championship, big one, and proven everybody wrong that he's not done. And he created. What is going on with my stream? Hold on a second.
Well, while he's fixing that, another game that's not technically a spin-off of Metal Gear that I've actually been playing a lot as well and getting a lot of community's attention with it was Super Smash Bros. Because if you don't already play Smash Bros, it's basically it was supposed to be considered a party multiplayer game that has blown up and actually become a competitive multiplayer game where Solid Snake is a guest character on it, and I play him as my main character, as also a part of Kcode, represent Kcode a little bit more through another type of game that has Solid Snake, the big boss himself. So I've been doing a lot of streaming of Super Smash Bros. Where some people may know me as a Smash Bros. Streamer now, because that's the main game that I've been focusing on. Because if you've been in my channel, you already know that I'm all about the competitive multiplayer, owning my skill, and mastering craftsmanship and characters so that I can, play out there on a more competitive field. Because I like playing to better myself, or leaderboard climbing, or even, just, interacting with people. I don't play video games to play solo.
Sorry, I think a little technical difficulty with my stream and stuff, so I had to cut off a little bit. But I'm back. All right, so you're a competitive player now. You're going hardcore. You're trying to climb the charts with Smash Brothers. Into that. I haven't played much of it, but he told me Snake is pretty good. Now, what is the best? Just before we get into the other stuff, I wanted to talk about both Antoine and you. Hustling your way to Kcode, basically. I was talking about it as far as work ethic. Those are the key things for Antoine. When he came along, he was really pushing hard, and that's what impressed me to tell Konami to say, "Hey, put him on. He's got like a hardcore work ethic." But the same thing with you. In the background, you were putting in the work and pushing it out there. That's the thing that everybody got to know for anything in life, With that being said, let's change topic back to the Smash Brothers. Tell me what is the best character?
Solid Snake.
No, forget it.
Solid Snake.
Don't listen to him.
Ask anybody in my stream. When I bring out the Solid Snake, they throw the controls. Just like, get the fuck out of here. It used to be my little Mac. I have a mean little Mac game. I throw the hands. Axe Mercy time. He knows. He caught him a lot. But Solid Snake, they say, damn, he's just an annoying character. Like, I don't. They can't keep up with me because I play tactically. I play evasively to where I don't let people get close to me, and I use every utensil I have. I use homing missiles, the grenades, the mortar, just to surround myself. Like I give myself a visible barrier, basically. If you get within range of me, you're gonna hit one of my projectiles before you get even close enough to hit me. So you gotta either be on point with like your evasive maneuvers, or just somebody that knows how Snake plays, so you're able to call his moves.
Right, but this is my problem with you saying that. The thing is that's who you're really good with.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the meta in the game? I know it's not Snake. Come on. What other character people really utilize the most? Yeah.
They actually, from what I hear, Pichu is the meta because he does the most damage output, but he's self-destructive. So you technically have to be a very good defensive player with him to not just throw yourself out there with him and damage yourself. Plus, he's considered a lightweight character, so he's easily launchable at that as well. So with the buffs, they have nerfs, so it's still a balanced playthrough with either of the characters.
That's cool. See, these are the strategy things and talks that I like to talk about, because then you can give people more insight on the core of the game, really deep important parts to get better. People, for me, for example, it's like, okay, you don't want to just pick whatever the meta player is. You want to be able to know how to utilize your play style. If you're very aggressive, you're not a defensive player, you don't want to pick a specific type. Those are the type of things that are interesting for me. I don't play fighting games anymore. I try to retire, but I'm back on Mortal Kombat.
That pay to collect skins. That's what I'm saying for Mortal Kombat. I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but after Mortal Kombat came out for, I think it was just called Mortal Kombat, but it was like a remastered Mortal Kombat that came out with all the characters. That's when I felt like the fighting styles changed too much to mimic other fighting games that kind of threw me off of the Mortal Kombat field.
Got you. I don't know. I retired years ago. I'm too old to say.
Yeah.
Back when the arcades were still popping. You go to arcades, those were the real combat games.
I agree completely.
You gotta stand next to somebody and like, yo, I'm about to shut you down.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really put in the work. But this new one is really awesome, man. Have you tried it at all?
I haven't. I've popped in a little bit of streams, but most of them were story playthroughs. And even if I don't own the game, I eventually plan on picking it up. Probably when the price goes down a little bit. So I don't want to spoil the story for myself. I'd rather just watch the competitive people play online versus people, so that there's no actual story spoiler for it. But yeah, I've seen it. As far as cinematics, that game is definitely a Johnny Cage.
So you're gonna have to go at it then when you do get it. I'm trying to compete. I'm not a player for that, but we can have some fun. We'll be setting up some stuff for my stream, just hanging out with viewers, playing this game.
True.
But man, let's get back into a couple things before we go there. What did we miss between now and before when we were on Kcode?
Okay, so the last time we did a Kcast, it was basically on the release date of Metal Gear Survive, where...
No, it wasn't. Are you serious?
Yeah! It was that long. It's been all... 2. Because, don't forget, I've also purchased a house and moved out with my wife, and I've already been living here for a year now. So it had to have been 2 years since I've last done a Kcode podcast. And in that time, like... Metal Gear Survive has changed a little bit from release date to current date, because it's definitely been on sale. They've had their free weekend, and I've seen a lot more players at least attempt to try it and at least label the game to me as it's a fun zombie survival game, but as a Metal Gear title, they didn't like it. Where that's what the part that I wanted to bring up, because I know you're really good at wordplay with games, if I could say, so that you can mix it up so that it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is easily understandable for people that either played or haven't played Metal Gear. So what I wanted to establish with that so far, as far as the gameplay, It uses the Fox engine, if I'm not mistaken, which is the same engine that they used to play the Metal Gear Online and the Phantom Pain. I really love that gameplay, that the way it feels, the way you were able to switch between inventories was very like it's quick. It's not something that you would have to study, and they let you put what slot you want to have in which slot. If you want to have all your offensive tools on one side and defensive tools on the other side, you can mix it up to however you're comfortable. So, I like the way the gameplay felt definitely, and every now and then they have events where there's a leaderboard, and me and my boy Jim Addiction like to start from the bottom, give it about 2 or 3 days to see who shows up on the leaderboards, and then just go ham like a 24-hour stream back to back, just to climb from 1,000 slot to wherever we ended. The last event though, me and Jim actually started the last week the event was available, and we started at 1,330, and he was 1,332. And we ended up climbing to the top 100 in less than a week. And we got the golden plate emblems and everything. We were flashing it off. Jim had more time than I did because I work a full-time shift, which is completely a full day from morning to night, Monday through Friday. And Jim had basically a night schedule, so he had more time in the day to play. And then also when he got off of work, he was able to play more. So he actually made it to the top, I believe the top 10, and I was in the top 100. So he got in the golden platinum nameplate, and I got the silver one, as far as I can climb. And I was like, yo, that was pretty interesting. If I had more time to, get on it and grind with him a little more, we could have gotten a little further. But it was something that I was like, this is definitely a way to make the game a little bit like competitive compared to it just being a co-op only game mode.
True. I got a lot to say about the game.
Mm-hmm.
I first of all, that's pretty sick, and it's not easy. There's a lot of dedicated Japanese players who just play it every day. You guys must have hated thousands of hours for them. So props. Anybody watching Metal Gear Survive, what he's talking about is it is a spin-off to the Metal Gear series. There has been 11 spin-offs to the Metal Gear series, specifically. Not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four, not just five. 11 spin-offs to the Metal Gear series. And a lot of them haven't been as great. Now, if you try to put yourself a top 5, Metal Gear Survive is in the top 5 easily, top 3 easily.
For him.
It's an argument about what are the top 3 spin-offs. We could go into Metal Gear Rising, which Joker is a big fan of. We could get into Metal Gear Portable Ops, which a lot of people are a big fan of.
Second place.
And then Survive. So these are the arguments of everybody thinks is great. Now, for me, the Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid V, the Phantom Pain was the greatest game I ever played. And the controls of being able to control Snake, everything was so optimized perfectly for me. It's a very difficult control scheme for people to get used to. They don't play that game a lot. Since I play a lot, I love it. It feels really fluid. Difficult to get into unless you're really into it. That being said, they took all those controls and mechanics and brought it to Metal Gear Survive. You're playing the same exact setup as far as the Phantom Pain. So if you thought the Phantom Pain was good, this game has the same control scheme as the Phantom Pain. They just added melee weapons to it to add a whole new feature, plus crafting, which changes the whole game with being able to put up a fence. Craziness. So, but that being said, the overall game experience, the reason why I think it's a great game, I don't think it's the greatest game of Metal Gear at all, but it's an awesome game to experience. Is somebody like me who doesn't play horror games, somebody like me who doesn't play tower defense games, who does not play survival games, who doesn't do base building type of games. The game offers all of that plus more with the Phantom Pain control mechanics. So that's where I was playing it. I'm like, wow, I'm not really into this creatures and horror and survival and tower defense, swarms of enemies and protecting my base and all those little things that the game created. I wasn't into them. But since it had Metal Gear mechanics, it was easy for me to want to play. Now, story-wise, you can argue if it was good or not, but they connected the dots to the Phantom Pain in this very special way. You got to see cutscenes. that is why I think that game is a really fun time, especially if you can get it for $20 right now or whatever amount of dollars you can get it for. I think it's a cool game just to have an extra little experience for the Metal Gear universe as far as gameplay wise goes. It's very stealthy. There's a lot of stealth that you can do at the start of the game when you play through the story, sneaking through enemies and getting past, rescuing someone but not wanting to get seen by the enemies, things like that. Really cool. Sneak up on them. I thought that was really awesome. That being said, there's an argument with Joker that I want to have with the chat, and you guys
Waiting
gotta
for
give
it.
your opinion. He's like, I'm waiting for it. What was the greatest spin-off? We're gonna only give two options right now because we know anyone can say Ghost Babylon because some people love that game.
Yeah.
What was the best? Metal Gear Rising or Metal Gear Survive? What was the best spin-off for the Metal Gear series?
Shoot, hold on. I'm actually gonna open a poll for that so we can take a vote on that. So I'm gonna put MGR for Metal Gear Rising because it was called Rising at first and they turned it to Revengeance. As
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, all three.
Yeah. That was actually one of the initial titles for it, or you said Metal Gear Survive, which is not actually called MGS, it's actually MGV, because they wanted to label MGV as the Survive part, because it's a spin-off of the Phantom Pain, which was 5, which is why they use V compared to S, because MGS is actually the first Metal Gear Solid title, so it already had its abbreviation. More on that. My reason for liking Metal Gear Revengeance or Rising is because my favorite character is Raiden. Like, hands down. He's a cyborg ninja who has a deep, intense childhood past that's grown from, I believe, what you can consider at first the bad guy, and then just had a change of heart and end up becoming the Vegeta of the story mode. Basically someone that you all fell in love with, didn't expect to, be something at the beginning, and then just blew you guys away and took over. And then he had his shine in his own Metal Gear Revengeance spin-off. At first he was, I guess, a character that you heard a story about in the Babel story in the initial Metal Gear Solid games. Then he came into Metal Gear Solid 1 as Gray Fox and ended up getting crushed, the story. And then Metal Gear Solid 2 is all about him and his basically connection to Snake, where you see him showing off as a new soldier on the battlefield who's only had VR training up to the point where he had his own missions. He came in there, took over. Just intense. I love the character, the model, the way that they turned the game from a shooter to a hack and slash game. Another reason why he easily became my favorite, because he was a hack and slash compared to a shooter. Other than that, the game, as far as soundtrack, as far as gameplay, as far as like villains and animations and everything, how it just tied together, it hit me at a point in my life where I wanted to try something different, and I feel like that's exactly what the game needed to do. They changed it from a stealth shooter to an action combat, and I actually, enjoyed it. So I put that at the top as my spin-off Metal Gear game. Why do you like Survive as the best, though?
I don't know. Like, I don't think I have a best for the spin-offs. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't put Survive up there. My thing is I don't have a spin-off that I'm like, this is the one. Portable Loss is alright. The story was cool, but the gameplay was kind of weak. Rising, just to disrespect you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Rising, everything you said is true. First of all, but I didn't feel Rising had the essence of Metal Gear in it. I didn't feel like I needed to stealth at all, pretty much. There was some mini stealthing in there, but Metal Gear is known for stealth. Created the genre of stealth, and they should have stealth everything. That was a big problem for me. When I played through, it's kind of like a hack and slash. There's nothing wrong with that, but kind of degraded it for me. But since it's a spin-off, it's acceptable, right? Just have fun with it. But they also the humor wasn't as on point as the regular Metal Gear series has.
Mm-hmm.
They usually have light humor. There was a couple moments and stuff like that, but nothing too much. Story-wise, I did like Raiden's, anger problem and finding out.
Yeah, what? I made a whole clip just to remember that part. It's like if I played this game only one time through, I'm gonna have this clip just to watch it when he goes, "Jack is back," and then sink from blue to red. And I was like, that's all you need.
See, that's Joker. Joker
A momentum transformation. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a whole animation made of me. I'm gonna just take off the glasses and look into the camera, and I'm gonna be like, "Joker is back!" Just ching, get a katana and just rip it off. Just ching right out the shape. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
That's actually a dope idea.
I have a whole katana here too. I just
Yo, why don't you just make a gaff right now?
Make a what?
A little gaff for yourself.
A gaff.
GIF?
GIF?
My bad.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what's a gaff? But okay.
Yeah. I call it gaff. I don't know why. But it's stuff. But no. So back to the topic of the Survive Rising. Rising is amazing. It was a fun experience. It didn't make me want to play it again. I played it once. Raiden, I hated his guts. I'm sorry to break the news. I hated his guts because I was a true Metal Gear fan. Kojima put a trailer out with Solid Snake as the main character, and you thought Metal Gear Solid 2 was all about Solid Snake. The next thing you know, you find out it's about some blonde guy who complains the whole time and his girlfriend's annoying as hell. And you're like, what are you doing? What is going on? But then by the end of the game, you realize it's a masterpiece because Kojima masterminded this to tell you who are the player. And he put a mirror in our faces. And it was such a fourth wall breaking experience on Metal Gear Solid 2. One of the greatest games of all time. But to argue about Metal Gear Rising, Raiden had to become the cyborg for us to love him right. And they did a good job with that. But I just couldn't see myself wanting to play this game. I'm gonna play it again, and I'm gonna need you to come on as a guest.
No worries.
I'm
always down.
An expert because you have speed run this probably one of the fastest in the world. Am I not correct?
It wasn't the fastest, but I've gotten third place back in 2015 for the fastest runs on Revenge's difficulty.
Okay. So you're one of the fastest runners in the game. So I definitely want your expertise to tell me about Metal Gear Rising. But I still don't feel like it's gonna be like, damn, this was the greatest.
Hold on, I know the reason why too, because you're saying that's kind of the same thing that I said when I first played it. I played it through and I was like, that's it. It was that short. I play hack and slashes all the time, so I know how the gaming mechanics work to get by pretty smoothly, even on the hardest difficulty. And I feel like the first time I went through it, it wasn't that interesting. But then it was when I started going more into details about it, listening to the side codex, and then doing the VR missions, and then the DLC with the Jet Team Sam and the Blade Wolf. That's when it's like, okay, now it feels like a complete spin-off story where you get to feel a little bit more for all the side characters as well. Because it's when I really understood Jetstream Sam's role in it, and then Raiden's role in it is when it made everything, that final showdown between them a little bit more intense. Because now like you're fighting somebody with an astral projection of who he's supposed to be versus who he really is. And I was like, okay, this game had a lot more into it than I thought at the beginning. I didn't really read into it like that. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try them all out. I'm gonna play it again. Not just because of you, because I've been thinking about it for years now. Once Metal Gear Survive was announced, everybody wanted to go up in arms about it. And I said, hey, I'm just going to try it. And when I tried it, with skeptical in my mind of it being good or not, and saying, maybe this is going to suck. Kojima's not in it. Oh, another spin-off. They already got 11. They keep adding on more spin-offs. There's a lot of reasons you can doubt in your head why it will be good or not. And I played through it, and I'm like, wow, I experienced something I don't usually experience with this game. There was a lot of tension, there was a lot of sneaking still. It had a lot of Metal Gear in it, but it also had its own spin. As far as story goes, I'm not talking about the multiplayer, co-op aspect. But as far as story goes, there was a lot of great experiences for me in that, where the moment where you're in the cloud of smoke, trying to sneak through, you're carrying somebody, and you're trying to get through because these big creatures are gonna kill you. It was a very Gear-ish experience. And then sneaking up behind guys and stealth killing them. Those are great moments of Metal Gear, in my opinion. Things that I really liked about the game. And then they had all this weird stuff that I would never do, like I said. And that's why I think Survive is on the top 3 of all time as far as...
I would give it the top 3 for gameplay, but as far as... Not even story, it's just gameplay, but like I said, I feel like I'm more of a community kind of player. So if it doesn't give me that much of a community feel to it, or a competitive feel to it, then it goes down on my list. Games like God of War that came out. That game apparently was a beautiful game that touched past and present. Gears of War, God of War. It touched past and present God of War series, and where you were able to fight with a different weapon completely, and then later on you go back to the original and get the Chains of Olympus.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Too late.
I'm just saying the weapons. I'm not telling nothing about the story because I haven't played it actually. But the reason that's what I was gonna get to. I haven't played it. It's a great game and it's probably something I would really enjoy. But I rarely play single player games like that. Often now, most of the things I play are all either online, competitively, or multiplayer to grind with friends and just compete. So that's why.
I think. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to say this. I think you're very unselfish and you care about your community and you care about your viewers very much. From what you're saying right there, you're missing out on one of the greatest games. I played God of War. I love it. I'm a selfish streamer. I'll admit it. God of War was so incredible, dude. I want to play it again. That's how good it was. They did a great job. You did spoil a big spoiler, bro. Because I played halfway through that game and I was so upset. I'm like, where the hell are the Chains of Olympus? Where are the chains, man? And they didn't have it. And then later on it came out. And that's something, like I said, is very special and important. I agree with you. Being an unselfish streamer, saying you want to play games for the community and things like that. And I can agree with that. And I actually wanted Metal Gear Survive to have a multiplayer. Because you know me, I'm ready for war when it comes to Metal Gear. But we didn't have it, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens in the near future as far as that goes. But back to a quick topic before we go into anything else real quick. So Metal Gear Survive came out last year. It was a fun game, interesting game, a lot of different dynamics that I thought was interesting. The year has passed, a new day has come. The game's over with as far as like, okay, this is all that they're going to do. They might add a couple more extra little things, but been over a year and a half of no Metal Gear announcements. What do you think is coming for the future of Metal Gear right now? If you think anything is coming.
I can't really say because I'm really at a loss right now as far as it. Like, I feel like them adding him to Smash Bros. I'm on Smash Bros. Now, and it's like maybe they're gonna keep the legend as a legend and just have Snake in multiple games or different games as that stealth character. Like, I read something recently, and this is completely a different company, genre, and everything about Splinter Cell. Like, they just announced the reason why they haven't made any announcements on a new Tom Clancy Splinter Cell game coming out. And it touches base in an article about different financial things, different backgrounds, and reasons why they don't want to continue. They haven't continued with it. And then they're saying is a possibility on PS5, something like that might happen when technology advances a little bit more and they're set to launch something that people would be, I guess, already ready for, because they already the name and the title is already something out there that people know. So that would be its marketing point, but they want it to be on a platform where they can try something completely different. So I'm thinking maybe in a way, like right now we might not expect anything Metal Gear because like I said, with the whole Fallout and everything and chaos at the moment, it was like, okay, we already know what it is, but maybe in the future, it could be something completely different on the next console, the next generation console, even though after PS5, maybe PS6, we can see something Metal Gear VR where you're playing as Solid Snake.
Time out, bro. PS6, PS5 is gonna last for over 7, 8 years.
We don't know that.
Metal Gear game?
We don't know that.
Want a Metal Gear game?
Look at Dreamcast. Dreamcast came out, and I thought that thing was gonna last forever after Power Stone came out, and I meant that I had it for a good year before PlayStation took over. And I mean,
PlayStation's the greatest right now.
First off, Switch has already changed my whole revolution about Nintendo. Because before it was always Xbox versus PlayStation, but I see in everybody's household they have a Nintendo Switch. So they crept up and snuck in there, and you guys didn't even see it. And now it's that console that's changed everything that you're thinking about right now.
I do agree with you that Nintendo is top notch. They're above Xbox, that's for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. But I can't put them above PlayStation just yet. And they have a long way to go.
PlayStation definitely has the sell point. So they have.
Tried their VR and it failed. I don't know if you've tried that yet.
Oh no.
Terrible.
Wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But as far as portable games and a console, they nailed it. They hit it on the spot of what you need. Resolution, graphics changing to make it from portable to 4K resolution from the dock and everything. They nailed exactly what it needed. Especially they made it stream compatible. It's something you don't have to go into your settings for each game you play. They made it so it's optimized and plays smoothly. No lag, no input delays. And even Joy-Cons being wireless or wireless controllers that may cause like a lot of some input delays and lags, they give you options as far as the USB for Pro controllers or even the classic GameCube controller you can plug up from previous systems and play how you're comfortable.
By the way, guys, this stream is sponsored by Nintendo.
Nah, but it's definitely something like it's crazy.
No.
What?
But no, I like that. I love what you're saying, and you really should be a salesperson for Nintendo Switch. You made me want to buy one for everybody in the world. Like, if I had money,
because I'm Mr. Exclusive Mad Gamer. You just gonna buy the world Switch? That's cool. That's cool. I support you in that idea.
Yeah, I wish it was that good. No, but no. So my point is with Metal Gear, and the reason I asked that question about what you expect next is because Konami, what people don't realize is, with Kojima or without Kojima, they put out over 20 games of Metal Gear in the last 30 years. So in 30 years, that means 20 out of 30 years that they put something out for Metal Gear. So do the math, okay? So that means we got the Phantom Pain 2015, and then 2018, 3 years later, after the blow of losing the greatest, we get Survive, which is just a spin-off. And I think we'll deserve one more spin-off or one more remake or remaster. Then we'll get a final game. That's what I'm predicting right now for the chat. I don't know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. Are we getting another Metal Gear game, whether it's a remaster, remake? Joker doesn't think. I think that.
I don't know. I don't think so because they also just released the HD collection on the PlayStation Now. So if you have the subscription, you could go back to the classics on the next generation console.
Talking about that the other day, last week, I went and got the PlayStation Now set up, and I'm like, all right, let me try these out. I thought they only had 6 of them. I'm like, oh, they only got 6 of the games.
Nope.
They have 9.
All
they
of
have
them.
8 of the game, except the Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get on your PlayStation 4 right now and play every single game. Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, 4, 5, Ground Zeroes, Peace Walker, the 2 originals for Nintendo. All of those right now on the PlayStation 4. So amazing. It's pretty sick. Now, the reason why this is perfect that you say that is because I tweeted they have 8 of the 9 original Metal Gear game story lores on the PlayStation Now, which leads me to believe that we will get Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 4 as a remaster.
Maybe 5. I don't think for 4. 4 is almost out of it. That's what I think. 4 is gonna expire, and then we're gonna move on, and then they're gonna want to hit us with the bangers, the ones that we were waiting for the most, remastered, redid, probably revamped.
I think it's smart to do it for the 4 and then just resell it again on the 5. Be like, hey, you want to buy it again, broker? That's
That would hit the community hard, as you know, another price scheme.
Yeah, we all get tight.
We can't. But I had other topics that I wanted to talk about, but we've been starting off on Metal Gear. Metal Gear's been our home discussion as far as most of these Kcasts that we came out. But in between that, we did have Super Bomberman R that came out that we haven't even touched base on, which I know all of us have played at least once or twice. Or even if we were back in our childhoods, we played Bomberman back then, not expecting it to make an appearance in the next generation consoles as far as technologies change. Some of the things that came out that I was really interested is that they added like Raiden snake skins to them. Even the original voice actor David Hayter came back to voice act for one of the characters in it, and I thought that was crazy because I was like, he's back and he's in there, he's playing a game that, you know, touched a lot of our childhoods, and he was the voice for like our childhood characters that we were playing, and I was like, that's crazy. But
Yes.
I remember you hosted a World Grand Prix tournament in Super Bomberman R, and I wanted you to elaborate a little bit more on.
Speaking of that, I have a box in my room, in my closet right now, a big box. It's like this, well, bigger than that. Just a huge box full of Bomberman prizes. Whether it's the full game, some sweaters, just some swag. And I'm gonna be doing next month in May. I'm gonna be doing a gamers night, which is gonna be online and in person. You come to Boston, Massachusetts, and play in tournaments to win these prizes for free, or you can get online and do an online version of the tournament and try to win something as well. That being said, Bomberman R is just a really cool, fun game. A lot of people sleep on it, even myself. When I first seen it years ago, I'm like, what is the kitty cat game? It's silly. Like, what is this game? In reality, it's very competitive and it's very intense, and there's a lot of great players in the community. So, I would recommend you check that out. But yes, the events are pretty easy, simple. You just go in and you're gonna battle other people, and have some fun with that. You're gonna do an online version too. Joker, do you have it on the PlayStation 4?
No, I think I have it on the Xbox, and I also have it on the Switch.
You're running away from the comp.
No, I never run.
Well, we might set it up for the Switch. We might set it up for the Switch. Have you be a part of it, man. If you want to get involved and just
Always, I'm down for some competition. I just need the invites and the date and the time, you know?
Yeah, I'll put up flyers and have it all ready to go. In a week or two when I'm ready to go with that. I have this current week to work on certain things I can't talk about, but once that's settled by Wednesday, then I have a chance to start putting out. I have a league for a basketball video game called NBA Live, and I have this event also this month. There's just a lot of stuff going on for this month of May coming up. Really excited for it. And yeah, man, the Super Bomberman R, don't sleep on that game, guys. If you're gonna get a good time, and especially like with friends, you can just hang out. Even if you don't know how to play it, like I did tournaments at community events all over Boston doing this game, and just put in random people, old people, young people, play the game. They don't know what they're doing and they're just trying to figure it out, and it's pretty easy. You place the bomb. Now, if you get somebody that's really good, you're gonna get in trouble. But if you just want to have a good time with some friends and family, it's one of those games you can definitely just throw in there, just fool around with. And there's nothing serious, but props to Konami for making it more interesting for guys like me, putting Metal Gear in it, turning it into...
The thing that I enjoyed about it the most is they added special abilities for the character skins that made it a little bit more difficult than just the puzzle movement and placing a bomb and evading. So on top of that tactical intensity, you had things where people were able to absorb bombs and make it appear somewhere else on the map, or cast more than others, throw it over the edge. Right, and slash it through it to eliminate it so you can just dodge it. And I was like, that is crazy. Like, now you really got to think based off of who you're versing, because you don't want to set it up to where you're gonna get them trapped with a whole bunch of bombs around them, and they're able to push them out, and then you're ending up in the in the fire line.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the
crazy.
characters I would utilize is he can teleport anywhere. So what I would do is set someone up on purpose, place bombs, and trap us both inside of them, and then teleport out of the trap. Just beat people that way. Basically, trapping us both and then teleporting out. And they can't teleport out, depending on their ability. You know what I mean? So it's a tactical aspect of what they're using, what you're using, and how you utilize them. Raiden would push the bombs away. Snake would disappear and use his cloaking device. Those little things like that change the gameplay. And there's a lot of little features too about carrying the bomb, throwing the bomb. You know what I mean? Creating longer bombs, being able to kick the bomb, do different things like that. There's a lot of tactics to it, and there's some pro players that are really, really scary to play against. Even for me, that I played it a bunch, I can't compete against those guys. That's really cool for a game that looks like a little kitty cat cartoon. They did a real good job being able to put it.
They definitely made it age friendly too. It's not something that is changed too often so that it's too difficult for younger kids to understand either. It still has you can still play it with or without the skills or the additional traits to make it more user friendly for people that are just using to walk around and placing bombs, or the people that want to get intense and use all the abilities and actions within it. So they give you that option so that you can play the way you feel most comfortable with it.
No, I agree with that. I think it's a cool game. I give them props. Konami did a good job. This is the thing, right, guys? I don't care about anything else other than Metal Gear. Even Konami knows that. And what happened was, they're like, hey, man, we got some cool games, They would always continue to tell me, try this, try that, here's this, here's that. I'm like, all right. With Bomberman, when I was a kid, I liked it, playing with friends, arguing, fighting each other after a win or a loss. I thought it was a good competitive game. And personally, I look at it as a competitive game. I don't look at it as a family-friendly game. But it has a family-friendly atmosphere. My nephew and niece beat the whole game before I did. I gave it to them, they beat it before me. They're very young. So it's pretty cool. But they have a lot of great games, man. The Castlevania came out. The Zone of Enders came out.
I was just going to get into that next, actually. Because right after Bomberman, we missed another great hit that they've revamped and came out with, which was... it was Castlevania Harmony of Despair. I have never played it until Konami just hit me up with the code, and they were like, yo, we got free codes. If you want to give it out, give it out. If you want to play it. But it was on the Xbox codes that were giving away. I'm like, I barely touched my Xbox. I might not even want to look at this. But I'm glad I did. And when I did, I streamed it that one day. There was a lot of people on it. I was like, yo, this game it's an old classic. I didn't expect to find anybody online when I played. I was just going to play by myself. I said I would try the online server just to see if anybody connects and can play. And I found a whole lobby. And I was like, what? And like, this is intense.
Yeah. Actually, go ahead.
I said they got the gameplay to match like the old Castlevanias. They had the different views so you could zoom out so that it's like just puzzled and small, or zoom in so you get the detailed characters. And then they had the old soundtracks. And I actually first heard the soundtrack on Metal Gear Survive, and they were playing like the old radio station, and you could hear some of the like classic theme songs from other games. And then I'm like, so that's where that song comes from. And I was like, I remember that. I just didn't know where it was from, but hey, you see how they do crossovers between all of their games, and you don't even peep it until you actually get to that game.
That's true. No, I like what you're saying. For me, I don't care about any of these games, right? So I'm like, whatever. And then they're like, oh, try it out.
Exclusive
like, cool,
players over here.
Yeah, baby. So I try it out, dude. And then, this is something a lot of you guys probably need to know about me before I say the story. I talk about innovation. I talk about something new, something fresh, whether it's movies, games. I don't want to see the same old hero always survive and always win. Let us die and let someone else come along. Like, that's how I am. I prefer not a happy ending on everything. I like some variety. I like the difference and open nature of being able to do that. That being said, I play a lot of new games. I don't go to retro. So when they asked me about Castlevania, I was like, Let's see. All right, I'll try. I tried it real quick. First of all, I suffered and I was destroyed. I did not know. I'm thinking it's an old game. It's like boring and I'm not going to be able to have fun. It's not going to be challenging. And I'm like, I didn't research. Little did I know it's Dark Souls. The original Dark Souls is like.
I can't believe you said that.
My dude, people were sitting there watching my stream, laughing at people that play the game. Love the game. From
like, what is this? There's no whip, it's a dagger now, and then what is this? I have to use like some powers to jump from this room to that room, jump in the mirror, teleport here, and it's like I'm going in circles now and just fighting the infinity horde of zombie skeletons, and it's like it's crazy.
It was a lot of stuff, and it was pretty cool for me that they'll go back and I don't play retro games. And I was really mesmerized by the ability to make me want to actually play it. And I was frustrated at times because I died a lot. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, man, I got to get better at this. This is embarrassing. My stream's there. They're helping me. And my stream was like so helpful. And the community's so powerful. They really, really embraced me to a certain level where I'm like, wow, like maybe I should just play this full time. Like for a second, I thought that, even though I wouldn't do it. I was like, damn, this game is pretty cool. It gave me a very difficult challenge and really pressured me to be better and to focus more. Because a lot of games nowadays, they make it so you can just play it casually, careless. But that game made me intense and made me really say, I gotta get this, I gotta beat this, man. I cannot allow this game to take me out like that. And it's actually 2 games in one. It was Castlevania, what is it called?
Requiem?
You know the name? Requiem. It had Symphonies of the Night and Rondo something. Rondo of Blood was the other one. And those 2 were really great experiences for me. I actually liked it. And I also ended up playing Zone of Enders. Are you going to talk about that too?
Yeah, I haven't touched it yet, so I don't want you to spoil too much of it. But I did cop it on the VR. It was something that I was like, you gotta get it because it just looked like the type of game that I would play. Like mecha suit, flying through space, action packed, very intense, and then detailed characters. Like I like games that express character personality because then it brings out more definition to the game and you actually feel for the characters in it. So I was like, it's something I definitely wanted to try out. So I've gotten it and I want to play through the whole thing in VR, but you know, VR is, if you don't have a VR is actually difficult to set up when you have a whole stream set up already and you want to actually play a game in VR. So it's a lot of hassle and movement.
It's difficult. I don't like playing VR games on stream because you can't see the chat. And it's like just certain things. I'm just like, nah, I'm straight. But I did play that game on VR, and what is so crazy, when I first played it, I played the first hour or 2 regular, just on TV to see what it's like. And when I first played it, I'm like, oh, this guy's flying around, you're jumping around, slacking and slashing, going through cool stuff. I'm like, cool, how would this work in VR? I'm gonna get sick. I'm like, this is not gonna be good for me. That's what I thought. Then I played it in VR, and I'm like, wow, this feels really good. You're in the cockpit of this big mech. You can see yourself, see how big the mech is. It doesn't look big when you're playing it on TV. When you're playing the regular version, it just looks like a small little miniature flying being that you're controlling. But when you step inside and you see how small you are compared to the mech, you realize, damn, this thing is huge. And it flows so good as far as the VR experience. I have a lot of VR games. If you look at my catalog, I have over 100 VR games on my catalog. I don't have it on right now. I have over 100 games for VR. But it's very special because it doesn't give me no motion sickness. I was very comfortable, smooth flow, and I'm still hacking and slashing, still flying and dodging and doing all those movements, and it didn't feel over exaggerated when it comes to the VR aspect. So they did a really good job being able to go back and forth. I just turned my headsets off, switched over to regular play, and then continued the story like that. And actually, the game is really good. It's how would I say? They have some variety, and you see how innovative they were at that time when that game came out. Because that's an older game also, and the things that they did there are what the future games have used to create variety for us. For example, different range of
So,
weapons.
a question for you, just to give your personal opinion on it for Chad to experience this, for people that haven't played it or haven't played the old version or even seen how it is in VR. What would you recommend if somebody did get it? Would you recommend the VR version or playing it on a TV?
If you have the VR, go for it, man. There's no point in not going for it because it doesn't give you like. All right, so there's a lot of VR games. This is what I gotta say about VR. First of all, there's a lot of VR games where you try to play it and you can only last 10 minutes. You want to get off because you're like, oh, this kind of makes me feel weird. That game doesn't do that, so you can play multiple hours and enjoy it and still get into it. Now, it's a different ball game. It's a whole different game because you're inside and you're hacking and slashing, and the experience is totally different than when you're sitting on a TV and you're in the third person view. In VR, you're in first person view. You're inside the mech making it happen. With TV, you're in third person and it's more on that side. The only complaint I have about VR from my memory was that the cutscenes weren't fully immersive 3D. And of course, it's an old retro game.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you play VR games on the PSVR, they have a cinema screen. So basically,
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
So right now, I can see everything in my whole peripheral, just like VR. This is my VR life. But if I wanted to check the menu or watch a cutscene, they'll give me a screen in front of me, and then everything else is black. So now, in between those actions of going through some motions and then a switch over to the cutscene, that is the only complaint that I would have, and this is a stupid minor complaint that's not as that serious, but it did take me out of the immersive experience.
So you feel like it would have been better if they had a 3D cinematic VR cutscene where you're able to look around during a cutscene.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of video games that make cutscenes where you're allowed to look at them. Anyways, so I'm just asking for something that the future needs to bring to us.
True.
Hopefully, okay. But that's something I would complain about. But it's a retro game being remade, and they did an amazing job with that. And actually, dude, if you're really good, you can play multiplayer, 2 controls on a. Look at you, you're like, where?
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, so you can battle someone else with a controller. It's only just a small room, and you get to pick different characters, and you can battle each other in there. So if you have a friend with you over your house,
wait, in the Zone of the Enders?
Zone of the Enders, yes. So in the menu, there's a small versus mode where you can play against other mechs, and basically you don't want to spoil it. I don't think every mech is unlocked, hopefully. If it is, and you're going to spoil some of the story on what type of mechs they are in the game, but who cares anyway. But you can go in there and just practice your moves, fight against other players or a computer. And that's what I would do right before I go to play. I'll just get into the rhythm of fighting again.
You might have just put me on something new, guys.
Yeah,
Future stream.
And you can actually do PlayStation Share controller
and
play with one of your viewers or something.
Online, that's true. Yeah, but you gotta have good connection for that. And if I'm streaming it, it's gonna take away from the connection and input delay. So I wouldn't recommend that. I could find people locally. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, just hang out and just play for a little bit. Something cool. But the point is, the game is pretty dope. And this is coming from a guy that doesn't care for any of those retro games. And I told Konami what Konami, they're like, hey, I got you this. I got you 5 copies of the game. And I'm like, no, you can just keep them. I'm not gonna play that. Don't worry about it. They're like, just try it, man. Come on. Don't be like that.
He knows he loves
like,
all these games. Because he takes them and he plays them.
No, I did not. I didn't care for them. When they first started offering me them, I'm like, I don't want that, bro. I'm cool. I don't play it. Just give it to someone else. And they kept saying no. And all
but
of
then
a sudden,
he played it.
Yeah, now I'm like, Castlevania's dope. I can't lie.
I remember in chat, like when it did come out, you weren't on it at the beginning, but later on when they came out with the Netflix series, you were like, yo, you started watching it and now you're Mr. Castlevania. You gotta get all the classics and you gotta get back into it. And I was like, bro, you're late. You didn't even know who Dracula was. And I was like, but now you know.
I don't know anything. I still don't. I'm still figuring out the lore and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like them, and I actually want to play them all. If they can bring them all back, which they actually talking about that chat, they're gonna bring them all back in the classic collection edition, isn't it? Is that right or wrong?
That's what I was gonna say. They're actually doing that with the Konami collection that recently came out. It's only $20 across all consoles: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. You're able to pick it up.
But you're picking the wrong one, dude. Time out. First of all, don't listen to him.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about Castlevania collections coming out soon, next month.
Isn't it a part of it?
No, you're talking about the arcade. The arcade has a bunch of different old retro games.
I thought it was under the same category as just like the next part of it, like a DLC that's released for just the
like
Castlevania series.
No, see now you're confusing me. Maybe.
Is it?
Not. I don't think what you're saying is right.
We gotta look that up then. But
I'm going on right now. So what I believe is they put out this is what happened. They did put out an arcade collection of Konami games. Konami has made everything. If you remember Nintendo, the original Nintendo, they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Konami made that. They had Contra. Konami made that. Konami used to make all the great games for Nintendo, the original Nintendo. So, that's where people got it all confused. So they can keep putting on all these classics. I'm looking right now to try to figure out what.
Same. It's like, I know they made the arcade collection.
It's separate. They made the arcade collection, which is just a bunch of different.
I know the arcade collection was separate because once you look through the library, it was a bunch of Galaga like spaceship games and the old classic retro shooting games. But I know they said in the arcade collection, I thought it was going to be an arcade that focuses on Castlevania. Because if you've ever played Rare Replay, for example, for Xbox, that actually had a whole bunch of classic games, but then it also had a couple of like Nintendo 64 classic games in it as well. So it wasn't all retro, but it was just like different parts of like a time skip that you were able to go through to play the different variety of games.
Yeah, it's not a DLC, is what the argument is. Right?
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's a DLC, but it's a whole different part. I thought it was still called the Konami Arcade Collection, and then that's just a part of the collection.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
It's coming out for the PlayStation 4, Xbox, Nintendo, and Steam on 16th of May, and it's called the Castlevania Anniversary Collection.
Okay, so it is its own. You're right. I'm looking at all three of them. So there's actually a Castlevania collection coming out. The arcade classic collection, which is the one that just released that I was referring to, and then they're actually gonna make a Contra collection as well as the third one.
Contra. Take me Contra all day, baby.
That
game was cool.
If they made Contra, can you believe how many people, at least from my community alone, how many people would be getting into that game just to play?
Yo, could we co-op?
Play it co-op online on a classic retro game?
Oh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That would be sick.
You know what? If they do come up with that, we definitely gotta link up for that one. Because I don't play retro games, dude. I told you.
Bro, but Contra? Contra is like the definition of a third-person shooter for me.
Alright, so I'm going to look at your chat right now. Your chat says Symphony of the Night is one of the best in the series. And you say
yeah. Sorry, just to reintroduce each other, this is MagGamerINC. He's the co-founder of, Kcode, one of the initial people to put the team together to form it. I don't know if we've done an intro, but more people have came into the chat since we initially started. So, yeah, if you want to just reintroduce yourself real quick.
I am whatever he said.
Mad Gamer. Check him out. I'm going to do a shout out really quick. So you can also check out his channel. He's also a multiple platform streamer. He's not only on Twitch, but he has YouTube, Panera Bread, whatever it's called. I call it Panera Bread, but you call it whatever it's actually called.
No, but back to the Castlevania. Let's just stick to the subject here, guys.
All right, go ahead.
What is the best Castlevania game? All right, I played Symphony of the Night, and I thought it was the best because I only played 2 of them, so I don't know better. I played that and I played Rondo. Rondo was cool too, but Symphony of the Night hit me. I don't know what it was. I was like, damn, this is really good.
The first one I played to completion, and the one I enjoyed the most was Circle of the Moon for the Game Boy Advance. Now, the reason why I say that one is the one that I enjoyed the most was because it had a difference to it. You had these cards that you had to collect that was a certain monster, and those monsters gave you abilities. And even though it was a third person, not even third person, it was like a 2D, 3D scrolling game, but because of the animations, you went from 2D to 3D. It's kind of like how Metroid Fusion is, where you're Samus and then you go through his cutscenes every now and then you fight these 3D monsters out of nowhere, where you got to jump from platforms and everything. But it was definitely something that I was like, yo, this game has changed like 2D scrollers for me. Like, it's still considered a hack and slash. It has its own powers, your MP and HP, like a regular scrolling game, but it had its challenges to it that really just wowed me at the time. And it was portable, so I was playing it wherever I needed to play it, so I felt like it was something I could play comfortably. And that's a game that I really enjoyed as far as the story mode is Castlevania.
Okay. Chat, y'all don't agree with that, right?
Sure.
I don't have no idea. But what I'm seeing is right now that this has the original this has the original Castlevania. It has Castlevania Simon's Quest. It has Dracula's Curse. It has Castlevania 4. It has Castlevania The Adventure. It has Belmont's Revenge. It has Bloodline and Kid Dracula. What the hell is Kid Dracula?
Some of those titles I've actually never played, so maybe I might cap the collection just to go through it so that I can keep up the par. I guess I started late Castlevania.
What is Kid Dracula? That one looks hilarious. It does look like a little kid, like Mario. Are you looking at this? Are you seeing this? You're not seeing it, huh?
Nah. By the way, shout out to everybody who's retweeted out the stream and shouted it out on their own social medias and tagged me in it. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the real MVP for, just supporting the channel. Oh, yeah, Lord of Shadow. That one was great. Like, I played it late, but I really enjoyed it as far as the story mode. I'm actually on Lord of Despair 2. I haven't completed the second one, but I've completed the first 100% hardest difficulty because I like to challenge myself a little bit. But it was definitely a game that I was like, yo, crazy.
Got you. I don't know about anything. The reason I'm asking, decided I said, you know what, I want to start playing some of these. I'm missing out. Being so closed-minded and playing only the newest games out and doing all that, I'm missing out on some really great games. I think, no disrespect to Konami, but I have disrespected them by sticking to what I love about what they've done and not checking out what they've really been used to. And I got to give credit to the manager, Ben, who's pushed me and opened my brain. He's like, stop being stubborn, like he knows how much I love Metal Gear and I don't care for anything.
Oh, Kid Dracula, I see it now. That's a Genesis game. That was old. Yeah, that was before my time.
It looks hilarious. It looks like it's like a bad Mario. You know what I mean?
It looks like it could possibly be like the first RPG game.
You think so? I think it's kind of just like a Mario game. You're just jumping around.
Those were the graphics back then for gaming. Like, you would see that and you'd be like, yo, that's what the graphics were at that time. So everything did like that.
Yeah, you're right. No, I'm just saying. I don't know. So the point of what I'm saying is that I'm more open-minded now, and I respect Konami at a different level now, outside of Metal Gear. And Castlevania is definitely one of the classics. I disrespected them. Now I learned my lesson from the last time. But, where were we? What else? What else we got on the list?
Alright, so let me go back real quick. So we've already touched base with Metal Gear since the last podcast. We've touched base with Metal Gear Survive that came out, Bomberman, Castlevania, a little bit of Contra on the Anniversary Collection, and let me see. I actually wanted just to go into some of the the other streamers and what I know some of them been doing or touching base with some of the other Kcode members. So I'm gonna do the command in chat ! Kcode, so we can actually get the link for the team. I'm gonna pull that up so I can see what some of these team members are doing, because not all of them are able to join the podcast because they live in different time zone, different areas. So it could be 3 in the morning for some of them. It could be like
It's 8 in the morning for some of them.
Yeah, 8, 6, 5, and it's crazy that we've all met up from different areas of the world and are actually here. Oh, speaking, yeah, that's what I wanted to speak on. I recently was just been all over Twitter, and I don't know if you know him yet, or you actually you do, but Wes is actually competing in PES competitively, actually, and I'm like, yo, for PES soccer,
bro. He's been winning championships,
representing Kcode. But I've recently just seen a post on a Twitter of 2 people that I don't know or I haven't really been keeping up with because I'm not really involved that much in the PES community. But they just won, I guess, for EU championships, and they're gonna be flying out for the finals. So they might be going up against my boy, as far as a duo co-op champion winner for the PES League that they're competing in. And I'm like, that is crazy that games like that, as well as sports games, Konami came out with that I didn't know about. Actually, I kind of knew already that they did make sports games or Konami games, but I don't know. With games like FIFA, I'm thinking, okay, FIFA, it's just EA. I forgot completely at the time that there was like PES, which is Konami, and I was like, yo, and there's a lot of spin-off games. Like NBA is not only EA, but there you have, like you said, NBA Live, or even the little spin-off indie games like the NBA Jams or Playgrounds or Home Court. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy. But
talking about PES, let me cut you off, because PES is another game I slept on. Again, I don't really care. Everybody knows it. They know it. So I was like, whatever. I'm all set with that game. Then I started doing this thing where I'm going to keep doing it again. It was a Kcode day where I play Konami games. And I do a bunch of giveaways for Konami. And I ended up playing PES for like 7 hours, 8 hours. And I don't play soccer, I don't watch soccer, I don't care about soccer. But I played it and I had a great time. I was going crazy in the chat with everybody about the games. It was close games. I started getting better. I started winning a lot. It's like, damn, I'm actually enjoying this. It's a lot of fun getting better, practicing. It was a really good experience, and I'm surprised by this game because every year they improve. And it's hard to do that with a sports game because it takes a lot of time. People don't realize when they put out a game, they have about 7 months where they have to update that game and continue to fix it. Then after that 7 months, they'll start planning for the next game. So they only have 4 to 5 months to actually create a new game. But they have to use what they already have.
Also on top of creating it, they also have to fix bugs, improve gameplay, make sure if there's any new consoles or platforms they're going to be reaching out to, that it's also compatible for the right audience and stuff, and look up statics for all of that. It's really a lot of work that I don't think a lot of people appreciate. They just feel like, oh, I bought this game and it's shit, throw it away, or yeah, it's good, let's play it. But it's definitely something that some people can appreciate if you're actually going into like gaming or designing and you see the time and work and quality that's actually put into the games before releasing them.
For sure. I didn't learn it from PES. I learned it from NBA Live, EA game. Talking with the devs and getting into deep stuff with them, learning how the system works and how everything goes. And then, while I learned that, appreciating PES, saying, damn, they put in a lot of hard work. They actually improved, which is rare. You got Madden games who kind of come out the exact same every year, and they have small improvements, but with PES, they've improved drastically. I'm interested to see what they're going to do this year, and I'm actually going to start playing, like I said, doing my Kcode streams again. So I'm really excited for that. And PES is going to be one of them. It's such a good vibe, bro. Yo, you have to try it, dude. I don't know if you got to play Joker. Have you played it?
Yeah, I have. I've tried it 18th for the first time ever, and then that's the first PES game I've actually played. And 2019 came out, and everybody, as far as the PES community, was in chat going crazy the way we would usually be going about Metal Gear, and they're just like, oh, well, I'm a PES guy, I'm not a Metal Gear guy. But like I supported them any way that I could, even though I wasn't really into it. I jumped into it because it's like, you know, I want to support my team members, so I want them to show me the reason why they like it. So I'm just being humble, going into the chat, trying to talk to them about it. If there's things that they needed to explain to me so I can understand, like, who's the meta team right now, do you have your creative dream team and things like that, or how you play competitively, or some tactics on how I can play it and get better. It was really an eye opener for me as well, as far as sport games and how communities are built in sports games compared to playing, you know, player friendly game.
No, I feel you. I agree with you, and I think
It's a completely different environment.
Yeah, someone who doesn't play that and then going into it, I'm like, damn, this is really special. It felt really good as far as the fluidity and the ability for me to learn. I had a learning curve, and it was like 6 hours of playing it. And the stream watched me. I played against a computer most of that, and I sucked and got beat bad the first game. Second game, it was close. Third game, I started dominating and becoming really great. And the community is really awesome. They're really special. And that's something that I gotta respect, specifically coming from some toxic communities at times, different games that I've played in my lifetime. Some guys are just vicious. But with the PES, they've had a really pure, welcoming a rookie like me and not, you know. So I'll give them credit for that. I think, like I said, Konami's a sleeper. And if I had to, I tweeted this. Oh, I didn't tweet it. I have it saved on a tweet, and I should have tweeted it. If you can only bring 3 developers with you onto an island where you have internet and you have electricity, but you can only play 3 developers games, what would they be? This is a question for the chat. This is a perfect question for chat. Tell me what 3 developers would they be? And honestly, of course, because I'm a Metal Gear fan, I'll pick Konami. But I'm surprised because there's a lot of other games they have. Silent Hill, which is a horror game, I really like that. Things like that I can have variety with. I think Konami is definitely a winner in the book.
For me, that's an easy hands down subject for me because I have 3 favorite games. So obviously, Hideo Kojima, bringing him because I don't care what game he makes, it's great in my opinion. So I would bring out all the Metal Gear series, of course, any stealth shooter, perfect one. Then I'm actually a classic retro fan of Sonic games. So Sega, anyone in Sega, I would bring them out so I could play just my Sonic series through and touch that base. And this last one, everyone might not agree with it, but I like my anime fighters, so I would bring Namco or Bandai because of the anime type of cinematic games they make. I would say Square Enix, but they're more fantasy RPGs, and I'm not really an RPG guy, but that's why I would go for Bandai Namco as far as hack and slash multiplayer fighting kind of games.
Oh, that makes perfect sense for somebody who's into that. For me, like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm not a fighter guy, so I could have picked that. That's definitely a good pick. I think that's cool. I don't know what everyone else is gonna decide, but you know. Like Konami's not a loss. If you just look at the overall like experience of what can you play, and the thing is honestly I wouldn't have been able to say that 4 years ago because I wouldn't have cared to remember that Konami made Silent Hill.
Bro, I think your green screen is moving to the right, by the way.
Yeah. This side?
No, the other way. The other way. Yeah, you gotta move it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm starting to see your door handle and all, and I'm like, what happened?
This is a bathroom. Lucky nobody was in there. Imagine if.
I know.
That would have been nice. No, but is it fixed?
Yeah, it's good. You're better.
Awesome. Alright. No, but it's crazy because 4 years ago I would have never thought. I wouldn't have been able to think to put them in the list because I never really paid attention. I knew that they made Silent Hill, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
You're right. I haven't looked into developers until recently, and like it's like, wow, these people have been in majority of the games that I play, and I just skip the startup screens. I'm trying to get to the game when I'm trying to play it, so it's like I said, you're.
Kcast? Is the name Kcast on this track?
Yeah, that's a mod of mine. It's Kcast. Yeah.
All right, so you want to look for publishers. So this is the difference. Developers are just the small studios who create the games. But the publishers are the ones who put the games out. So Konami. My list has to be like Ubisoft, EA, and Konami. Those three give me 10 games a year that I could play. Every year they put out a multiple of games, handful of games that I feel like, okay, well, I'm playing that. Battlefield, Rainbow Six, you know, Assassin's Creed, and all of these cool games. So for me, those type of publishers are the type of publishers that if I had to be stuck with them, only three. Those are the types that I would pick most likely. But you know, there's just a bunch of them, and that's where you got to decide, like, what would you stick with, what would you go with, and this is where the argument of like companies, no disrespect to EA, I love EA, I work with EA, I have a league right now, NBA Live 19 tournament, league season right now, it's about to end in 2 weeks, and then the playoffs are going to start for EA, NBA Live, but they get a lot of slander, a lot of disrespect. Their games suck. Oh, this game, that game. Anthem right now is not good. Madden's terrible. Oh, everybody wants to try to crap on them for their games. But they put out 12 to 15 games a year, and at least 10 of them are good. Not all of them, but 10 of them are good. And they don't control what the developers create. So they put up the money and they support the teams, but every studio is separate, and they create the games. And this is where people got to understand, and I'm sorry to take up the podcast on this subject, but address it because it's important. They don't control what Anthem did. They don't control what BioWare did with the other game. What was that other game that BioWare, the famous game?
Don't ask me. It's not my category of gaming.
Oh, you don't know? It was Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah, definitely not my category. That's too close to Destiny, which I quit that a long time ago.
This is going to give you a perfect example. EA puts out all of these cool games like Rainbow Six. It's got a whole bunch of other games that they... I'm sorry, that's not... What am I saying, Rainbow Six? They put up a whole bunch of other games that are really cool, right?
Lost it.
And... yeah, I got mixed stuff with Ubisoft. It's the same thing with Ubisoft. The same argument is with Ubisoft. They're like, oh, they put up Rainbow Six, but the Assassin's Creed game stuff. Those are different studios creating these games, and the publisher is the one just investing in them. You can't blame the publisher all the time for the bad game that the studio created. And this is what gamers need to learn. And hopefully somebody can clip what I'm saying right now, that specific sentence.
I'm actually gonna post the whole podcast on my YouTube channel because I like to learn from like the past ones to see what
can we do better.
Correct. Or what topics we should have touched more, or what we might have needed to eliminate, just to ease it up a bit, keep everything on point and in a flow.
I feel it. So my thing is what I want to say. Someone could clip this and send it to me on a tweet, MagGamerINC. I'm gonna repeat.
Hide and seek.
Too many gamers confuse publishers with studios. Studios are the developers who develop the game for you. Publishers are the ones who invest the money so that the studio can create the games. When a game sucks, it's usually on the studio's development side. Publishers don't have control of how bad the controls suck on that one game you're playing. Stop blaming EA, Ubisoft, or Konami for a bad game. They put out 10 games a year and maybe one sucks. It's the studio's fault.
I feel like one team, one mission. So when they say EA, they're just saying the people who made the game. They're not really just saying the games or stuff. So I'm just saying, just overall, completely. If the game sucks, it sucks.
No, you're right. And a publisher shouldn't publish the game if it isn't that good. And I can.
But they're paid to do that, so it's kind of a force of habit.
Yeah, but if you invested $1 million, for example, Metal Gear Solid V: The Phantom Pain was $180 million of production. Never mind marketing and all the other expenses that come with developing. $180 million to create that game. It was a masterpiece. They cut off some content that they thought wasn't necessary. For example, people are gonna hate me for saying this. I'm gonna start fires tonight. If somebody quote this and clip this ready, said what I'm about to say right now.
Mag the quarter.
Metal Gear fans, stop lying to yourself. The Mission 51 that everybody saw in the collector's edition that was deleted looked like an awesome cutscene, and we all wanted it, including myself. But that would not have redefined the series. That would not have changed anything in the series. It wouldn't have added story and lore that was needed.
All right, hold on 1 second before you continue with that.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Before you continue with that, I played Metal Gear, but I haven't memorized every episode, so you have to be more detailed when you say episode 51. What was that cutscene, just so chat can understand what you're referring to before you start the argument.
Alright, so basically, when a game is in development, they create all the stuff that they want, they create DLC, they have all these plans for the future. A lot of things get cut off because it costs too much money to program, it costs too much money to design, it costs too much money to produce. They cut off a lot of fat from the games. If you ever looked at a GDD, which is a game design document, there's millions and millions of pieces that just look good and like, that would have been sick, that would have been awesome. It doesn't go into a game. Kojima has had interviews where he said he wants this and that, and that's going to be in the game, and it wouldn't show up in the game. People get upset. That's just the way the cookie crumbles in production. You're in a budget that a publisher gives you all this money and says, do your work. Billions of dollars, millions of dollars, whatever amount of money.
Hold on, because I don't think you understood the question. The question.
No, I'm gonna answer it.
The question was, what is Mission 51 and what did it entail?
The reason, all right, bro. The reason.
Because now I'm off subject completely. Now like, I'm going back to developers.
No. I got you. Well, the reason I'm saying this is so people can understand the reason why this was cut. So what happened was, you played the whole story, you finished the game, and it was a masterpiece. Kojima wanted to add another layer.
Spoiler alert first. Spoiler alert, because he's going to actually tell us what Mission 51 entailed, which he said was the final mission in Metal Gear. If you haven't played it yet, just tune out for like 10 seconds while he explains some short details.
There's nothing to tune out. Nobody's played it. So basically, when you get the collector's edition, there's a CD with a DVD. You can watch documentary film, interviews with Kojima, interviews with... They add a mission that was deleted because they didn't even finish the mission. So you get to see a cutscene from the mission that you're supposed to have for the game. It's never been released and never will be released because it was just deleted because it was too much money and it was cut off way before the game ever got finished. Right? So the mission is, if you played the Phantom Pain, Eli, aka Liquid Solid Writer, who is the little boy Eli, escapes with the Metal Gear and what's his name? The third child, aka Mantis, aka
red-haired kid, red-haired little boy.
Little boy. So those guys escape, and then what that Mission 51 was supposed to be, Snake finds where they were, he heads over to them, and they fight. That was what the mission was. But they never got to it. They only showed a clip of the scene, a couple minutes, a minute or two, just some cutscenes. Looks really cool. It was a fun experience. But if you think about the overall experience of the game, you say that has nothing to do with the ending. And this is why it's controversial. People want to fight me because people want that so bad. They believe they can unlock it in the game and all this crazy stuff. And what I've been trying to explain to people is, yes, it is cool, and it would have been cool to have it. Of course, I'll take it for free, extra, go. But these guys, all they're doing there is nothing because it doesn't matter. Oh, my headset, sorry. Basically, it doesn't matter what these people, what that happened there, because Eli is still alive later, Mantis is still alive later, Big Boss is still alive later. So the fight would have just been like, you're alive, I'm alive, go, and we're done. And it would have been over with. There would have been nothing actual, substantial, meaningful, or purposeful that can come from it. Unless they created other characters and then they died off. So it would have been like a waste of time to kill off new characters to die off in that part. So while it would have been fun to have, it was financially something that couldn't have been done. That's why I brought up the development parts of it. So this narrative that the game Phantom Pain wasn't complete is very false, and it was fully completed. They just wanted to add extra depth with some extra random.
So you honestly believe there's going to be a Metal Gear 6?
I believe that there's no reason not to continue. So this is what happens. All right, in the Phantom Pain, the way they ended, it was the master. You don't need to continue that. he ended it in a way where it's open ended. You start now. This is a real spoiler. The other that wasn't a spoiler because it wasn't an actual mission. This is a real mission in the story. So mute me for a while, about 30 seconds. So in the Phantom Pain, when you finish it, you find out you're playing as a Phantom, aka that's why it's called Phantom Pain. And this Phantom is a medic who used to help Snake a lot and was really great. And Snake tells you you're a part of being him. You're big boss now. That opens up the lore for the original 2 games where it's very confusing. You play as Solid Snake as a rookie, and Big Boss is your commander telling you to invade Mother Base, aka Outer Heaven. Invade Outer Heaven to find out who's the boss, kill the boss, and destroy the Metal Gear. Later on the end of that game, your commander, Big Boss, tells you, I tricked you, kid. I thought you were a rookie and you would never get here. That's why I, sent you on the mission because I thought you would die, but you made it here and now I'm going to kill you. And that's how part 1 ends, right? So it's a very confusing thing for the boss to be in the beginning, sending you on a mission, and then it ends kind of weird. But now, with the new lore of the Phantom Pain, it basically tells you one big boss is fighting the other big boss. So the big boss that I am, the player, aka the medic, is sending Solid Snake to go infiltrate and kill off the original big boss in part 1 of the original game that hasn't come out. It came out in the 80s. Are you following me so far, Joker?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm on point with this. I played it back and back again, so I know what's going on.
So you're playing the old one. I'm talking about the
all
original
of it.
Metal Gear. So that's where this game, the Phantom Pain opens it up to be able to do that. And it can be reversed. It can be the Phantom is the final boss, or the Phantom is the one sending the Solid Snake on the mission. One of the two. And whichever one you want it to be, which of course everyone's saying the Phantom is the one who dies in the beginning, etc., all this nonsense. But however you want to put the cards and play the tape, it doesn't matter. The point is that Kojima created it so that the lore can live on. Now, if they want, they can just keep adding just missions and different things that happen from that moment of when we finish the Phantom Pain, or they can go into the future, or they can go in between and do another Raiden game.
I'm waiting for my Revengeance too.
Okay, Revengeance 2, or they can do the origin story of how Raiden became the Vengeance. So in between part 2,
back to Zanzibar Island. You're right.
They can get into the story of how he developed into this creature, or they can go even further back and showcase Solidus as the main captain, with baby Raiden being a killer the way he was as a child soldier. So there's a lot of different manipulations in the game, and the whole atmosphere to change, and Metal Gear can live on through so many different forms, and I think it would be very special if they do it. That's what I would want. I'm old, but I don't want things to die. A lot of people say Star Wars is no good no more. I don't know how you feel about it. Oh, they messed it up now with the new ones. How do you feel?
The next generation spoiled our childhood, soiled it. That's how I feel. It's not only that. Yeah, it's not only that. A lot of things they've touched is just going with whatever is a current entertainment. Like mumble rappers are in, so they started making mumble kids animes, and I'm like, bro, I grew up with like Dexter's Laboratory, where you actually had dreams and ambition, and now you got characters that look like Scribble Scrabble making sound effects and thinking it's funny. I'm like, the environment's changed basically, so it's different. It's what's currently in now and what the market is selling, so it's a sell point. But yeah, I think it's
that's a decent. I mean, rap. I'm a rapper, so I actually agree with the mumble rapping, but I do like Star Wars. I think they did a good job revising the series for me. Why? Because I move on and I keep going, and I wanted to keep going, and I'm happy with them killing off, spoiler alert, most of the old characters. I'm happy with them trying to find a new narrative and not making it so that the good guys always, you know what I mean, or the bad guys always bad. We've seen the bad guy turn good, and we've seen the good guy turn good. We have this variety, all those little things that adding to the series, for my taste, is nice, and I need that. And that's where Metal Gear can continue to try to evolve and do some new and different things for the story, main story, but also spin-offs. I wouldn't mind seeing another, even though like we're having, I wouldn't mind seeing another. And Chad is talking about something specifically. I want to tell you, I do appreciate you saying this, and I'm gonna read it out loud. The ending, and I'm hoping you're talking about the Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're talking about the Phantom Pain. All right, so the ending left me feeling like I screwed something up, like I hit the wrong button. All right. So, what I want you to know is the Phantom Pain is purposely...
Basically, I feel like it was really meant to leave you in a awe. Like anything, it could have went any other way. So they wanted to leave you on a cliffhanger so that they can open up the next game however they needed to. Because to tell you the truth, it was the final game that Kojima worked on. And it was his storyline, his setup, and nobody knows exactly where he was going to go with it. If he was going to save certain things to go into Metal Gear Solid 6. So they ended the game where it was just like drop in the middle of it, and then it was going to leave an opening. They left an issue, or basically if you learn how to story write or how to plot, you have to make a climax, something that grab the people's attention, some type of plot or trouble that's going on, and then I guess the just hero, the protagonist, the main character, someone to focus on so that it could continue a story. So they ended that so that you now know people in that what it's going to be about, or a genre what it's going to be about, a current issue or a plague that's currently happening, and then a setting which is going to be either Out of Heaven, Mother Base, or even Big Boss's island that he was preparing for everybody. And they're gonna it just left it an opening so that can start its own story in its own way without necessarily having to continue in the same direction that they were going.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody was saying in the chat about Liquid and having more of him. That's not a part of like the lore. Liquid died on the first Metal Gear Solid game, and he was never returned. And he only came back through the Liquid Arm gimmick, and it was just abusively used by Ocelot. The reason Ocelot faked. Ocelot was never possessed by Liquid. He used hypnosis to act like he was possessed so that he could trick the Patriots into thinking that it wasn't him being controlled.
It was a part of his overall plan, but in a way, I think it was genotherapy that made Liquid cells make him think, act, and react as if he was Liquid as a part of his plan. So he let him be controlled.
He wanted to get he hypnotized that so that he can manipulate the Patriot system. Now, we're going to get back to the Phantom Pain, though. The reason why I want to tell you that's good that you felt this way, you felt at the end of the game. First of all, Kojima could design it that way. Every little thing, like you losing your arm, entity, players don't know. Players that have been playing this game and swear they know everything. Turn the game on, you're in the hospital, you don't know what to use. Just like the actual player in the game, in real life, you were like, what is happening? And you start crawling, just like you do for the first time playing the series again. And the whole game does this to you. Phantom Pain. Who am I? What is going on? I lost my arm. I lost this. I lost my army. I lost everything. And this is the pain you're supposed to feel. You lose quiet at the end of the game. You lose all of this. You lose your identity in general when you find out you're Big Boss. And you've always been Big Boss. Every game you played, even when you were Raiden, even when you were Solid Snake, you were Big Boss. You were mimicking everything that Big Boss was and the legend behind it. And it's just an idea of growth. And that's where the game's concept and brings you to that to tell you you've always been this. You always will be this. That's the power of the series. But there's deeper, smaller details. And there's something I wanted to talk about with you right here when we were talking. So, for example, you have this disease, these parasites that take over and all this nonsense, right? Guess what? That was the development of nanomachines. That was the end of the game. When you play the Phantom Pain, you're developing, and everything that they're experimenting with is developing nanomachines, which are what the whole series are about also. So when you play Raiden nanomachines, son, when you play Metal Gear Solid 4 and they're like all controlled by nanomachines, when you go to part 2, when you're playing all of these nanomachines controlled situations, it was all because of the Phantom Pain. That experiment has what led to Cypher, aka Zero, controlling everything through these experiments, and that's where it all became such a powerful force. And that's where you gotta understand the series wraps up in such a beautiful way. Every little detail, I can get into a lot on list of those small details that, wow, that's true. You know, Ocelot's hypnosis in the original start in this Phantom Pain, he hypnotized himself to make himself believe that the fake Big Boss, aka you, was the real Big Boss, was his start of his demise against the Patriots. And then later he does the hypnosis again for his arms to fake it so that he can make them think it's not him being evil, it's not him betraying them. When him betraying them, Triple Agent. He's always worked for Big Boss. He's always wanted Big Boss to win. He's always supported Big Boss. He did everything in his power for Big Boss throughout the whole series. Even though he looks evil, he's killed a lot of people, he's done terrible things. He's always done it for the better of Big Boss in the end of the day, because he knew the Patriots were in control. He was the child of the Patriots. He had to get out. And he's actually, Ocelot is the actual Big Boss, because he has the blood of the boss and Sorrow. He's the true Snake in the game. If you really want to get deeper. I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyway, let's move on. That's what I got to say to the chat about it.
Alright. So, what I was gonna go into next, I don't even know if I still have it up. Let me see, window capture.
Yo, that'd be dope. A liquid game. There we go. Shout out to Kcast. He's hitting us off with the
alright, so
that's coming out.
I'm gonna cover myself with this. I was gonna cover myself. I wanted to bring up the Kcode team and shout out some of the members. I don't think it would allow me to scroll, but as you can see right here, One Cool Man is currently playing or speed running. He's attempting world record speed runs in Resident Evil. Kcode is mainly about basically, I wouldn't even just say it's based off of playing Konami based games, but it's based off of people who have expressed their own personality on these games or shared their stories of enjoying the game. And we play a variety of different games, so you won't see us always streaming Konami based games, but we definitely all either have an extensive knowledge on it, or creator content, storytellers, exclusive writers, YouTubers, content editors of the series. So this is the team. I'm just read off the list of people here. We got me, we have One Cool Man, the big dog Konami, 3rd place up there, Pest Live, Miles Zinberg, we have, is it Sector? I believe it's pronounced Sector 7. Just Anto, who was Anto Di Figo at the time that, you know, introduced me to it. Ross Gaming, Crunchword. I always say this wrong, but he's okay with me saying it this way. But Yeehaw Murda. Yeah, that's my guy. He's a pest soccer guy. He really showed me.
What is his real name, dude? Come on, man.
I do not know, but that's why he said he lets me call him Yeehaw. So he's gonna what's up, Yeehaw? How you doing, Yeehaw?
I would never let nobody call.
So yeah, man, but we're definitely a team. If I say if you guys want to !Kcode in chat, you could click on any of the names within this. See when we're live, when we're not live. Hit us with follow, show support to anybody on the team. Check us out.
Let me run down some names real quick. Even though this is turning into a ghetto award show where people just start naming their cousin. Little Quee.
Oh man,
shout out to
don't.
Janae, John Mom, Lee,
this guy.
Feel me? No, but I want to give a shout out to a couple of hustlers, just like Antoine and Joker here. Poor Boy Sin was promoting himself to be on Kcode. We got him on, and he's become a partner for Twitch. He's a really great streamer, really great guy. I gotta show him love big time because he just works really hard and stays dedicated to his craft. And big ups to him on coming through.
What's his name?
Poor Boy Sin.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was like, you were talking about him. You gave him all the kudos, but you did not even say the name yet.
I thought I said his name at the start. We got a MIC Dub TV, another guy from
My
I'm just
Dub.
gonna try to read something.
Oh, also, the guy who made the banner for my Twitter shout out for this Kcode podcast, Visions. He goes by Visions now. It was NL Visions at before. Yeah, he's also ENL Visions. But he goes as Visions now. He created the banners. Another Kcode member.
Shout out to Visions.
He streams time from time, but I think he more focuses on content creating now, or he's working on his vlogs.
We'll
Pretty
see
good.
what he's going through. But he's a great guy.
Check him out.
Supporter. He did a lot of great things. He helped me out. He was a big contributor to some of my projects as far as like creating flyers, banners, and things like that, editing some videos for me. Really great guy. Really, really enthusiastic. Great heart. Great human. But that's a whole different combo. But yeah, so then you got Spin Brothers, another Twitch partners from our Kcode, big timers, doing their thing. Very special. I don't know about that Yeehaw. We gotta change his name. That's how you say it. We got Slim Merc in here. We got Ross. What's his name? Ross.
Ross. Princess Ross Gaming. That's my guy. Nah, I call him Princess because I said he's definitely a little diva when he gets on his stream, but that's just me and my little beef between him. He hates when I call him that, but I told him until he can accept the joke and call himself Princess and not take offense to it, then he'll learn to develop and not take toxicity for what it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's something I had to learn. I'm from New York. I'm punching people in the face. You know, that's how we do. That's how we fix problems. If someone's mad at you, you just punch them in the face.
Well, this message is not approved by this channel, by the way. Do not punch anybody in anyone's face. Talk it before you or walk it.
If you love them, you punch them in the face. That's just how we do it. So when I went online and started really getting out there in 2015, it got toxic, and I'm like, damn, I can't punch these people in the face. How do I deal with it? And it becomes a new world. You just gotta like let it go. It ain't that. Church the MC, another guy on the chat, on our setup here. We got Baby Joker 0319, some guy there, I don't know. Shakira's Clouds, another great
Psychus Clouds is actually an enemy name. Psychus.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Your boy Jim Addiction.
20.
We got Wizza FT, which is a champion. He is literally the champion from
Wizzatron.
Wizzatron, there we go. I think he changed his name though. Sorry. So there's just a whole bunch of guys. The moral of the story, Kcode team is large and in charge. There's a lot of variety for.
Also, another guy that I don't think we've mentioned, Professor Kai. He's actually somebody that I checked out recently. He's a YouTuber. I didn't expect to, see a YouTuber come into the Kcode team and promote and also participate in different events. But he's a YouTuber that still keeps up to date with majority of the Kcode events and topics. So I want to give him a shout out as well if you want to check out his YouTube. It's not going to be on the stream team thingy, but I'll find a way I can shout out. I'll probably grab his link to his channel and I'll post it in the Twitter or something.
So the thing with Pro K, he's hilarious. That's all I can tell you. He's just a fun personality guy, and we got him on to people that hated my guts. So what happened was, I was doing Metal Gear Online. A lot of people hated me. A lot of people still hate me. All right. But what happened was, a lot of people hated me, and it felt like it was a competitive.
By the way, your green screen is running away from you again.
Which side?
Same side. Yeah.
I have a delay.
I think you're kicking the chair back and then it's moving the whole green screen away.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening. But so the moral of the story was, I was doing these events and these people felt like I was taking their shine and all this crazy stuff. But then I'm like, what are you up to? I don't really care about the shine. I'm not that. It's not that serious for me, So I basically made friends with them, supported them for a while. Kept talking about Kcode, and then we got him in, and his buddy Connor also on the stream team. They're MGO players basically, but they're really, when it comes to Pro K, he's hilarious, funny guy. So it's really good to watch, check out. His community was hating on me. He was more civil and we talked. Everybody was like, he's great. He deserves to be on Kcode too. Okay, whatever. He's good. He's a good creator. And then we got him on. And he just does fun stuff. Fun guy. He's very fun. Worth watching. But I mean, a lot of these guys have great content. That's what I was trying to say before that. At the end of the day, you're going to get a variety of people. I do, right now, if you want to go through my list, I'm doing a podcast, which is just deep thoughted, conscious type of podcast. I got the Kcode Day. I got the Metal Gear Day. I got my league tournaments, playoffs happening. I got the game night where I do giveaways and contests there's a whole bunch of stuff for me, just in general. Then you got Joker with his type of content. He's competitive. He's playing multiplayer fighting games and different things like that. Everybody has their own variety, their own things that they do. And we're not an imaginary Illuminati. We're all just players who got together through Konami. Of course, some of us supported each other to get each other on. I pretty much got like 80% of the people on there in one way or another. And it was all because of their great content and people referencing them. And I'm like, cool, get them in. Let's get them. Let's get them. And it's been a great honor to have these variety of people. For me, I'm very honored because there's some amazing ones. There's guys who are doing some special things. Like I said, one guy's winning championships for esports, official tournaments, winning $5,000, $20,000, $30,000 in tournaments. Other dudes, between Switch partners, other dudes just having really awesome charity events, raising thousands of dollars for things like that are just really awesome to have as a team, to be a part of the team. So it's humbling, it's blessing, and Joker's setting this up today, which we're gonna fix. I think we need to take off that bottom section. I know this is your intermission right now. If I'm gonna give a tip on stream tips, take off that bottom section, take off that intermission, which this isn't a
just delete everything in it. Actually, I got you. I know how to fix this right now. You ready, guys? This is exactly what he wants. Ready? Bomb. Right there. Yeah. That's exactly what he wants, guys. This is not the Mad Gaming Show. We just wanted to put him right there. The channel, you gotta go over everything right now. That's good. Now we're good.
That's terrible. I just ruined the stream.
Nah, we're good.
No, but the intermission, the bottom part, we changed that to the Kcode situation. I think people will love it.
I could actually make a whole page just for like a Kcode chat room, so I could have different web boxes. If all of us have our green screen like this, it looks like we're just having a conversation everywhere.
No, I like it.
I could put that together.
It looks really sick already. It's just that bottom part. Like, is my name Blue? Whatever the hell.
No. It definitely says new follower. So it was the last person to follow my channel. Well, that's good.
But other than that, it looks really awesome. I think it's really cool, and I think it'll be great to set this up for the future. And we're not going to talk this long about this stuff. I think one thing that I've been doing, Joker, I did it earlier today. Have this type of setup, but on the side, have a video playing so people can watch something. And for example, every time I was earlier, I
actually had that set up, but I didn't only want it to be about my channel, because I only have clips about myself. But I was thinking if people submitted videos or something, I could just take mini clips of everybody's channel and just play it out there, no audio, just the regular chill music in the background, and then have that just playing under. But I didn't have time to set that up because, like I said, this was something that was just like, yo, you want to do the podcast today? I've been talking about it, but we haven't really given much feedback on it. So
he asked me like a half hour before the show. It's like, hey,
right before the show. Cool. Just something new. Let's just get to talking. Let's make ourselves more comfortable with the community and talk a little bit. I don't feel like I talk to you guys enough. I'm just like start the live stream, and then as soon as we get onto it, it's Smash Bros, smack talking, and we just gonna start bumping heads. So I think it's good to change things up every now and then and try to talk or try to jump into a workout stream or something else.
No, for sure. I'm talking about that. So what I was saying was, we were talking about Castlevania, we were talking about Metal Gear, we were talking about all this. Earlier, I did a stream today showcasing each of the games I was talking about. It's something I'm going to be doing consistently every week, basically discussing different things because I have like the Mag Express show. But we could do that while we're doing this Kcode topic.
Definitely.
You know, it's really cool. I like it. I think it looks good the way it is now. It's just a couple of wordplay changes up top.
That's what I was thinking. Like right here next to me, instead of it being the live chat, I was actually gonna have it being like the feed. Like if we actually wanted to show a clip of a game we were talking about, you could show streamers streaming it, a different team. I could have the team in there and showcasing the stream team's name, things like that. So I said I had the setup ready in mind, but it's just that, like I said, I didn't. This was a quickly prepared podcast, not a detailed planned one. I want to make sure I have my people that commit, and then once we have a team ready to go, and then all of us can jump in at the same time, I'll get everything together. We'll set it up, put it like a month out, all of us to make clips, things, and then we set it up.
Down, bro. And you got me standing up this whole time.
Man, take a seat.
Sit. No, I didn't want to sit because of the camera.
Oh.
Exposing my whole house. I was like, you know what? Just not
that's your call. I'm sitting comfortably, so yeah. But I appreciate you coming by the show. You were standing for about a good 2 hours here while we were doing it. So I mean, I know you got the cash. You've been doing a lot of. I've seen your vlogs too. You've been doing some vlogs. You should post them on a YouTube or something, because I know you used to work out a lot and walk around and just generally talk about. Not even life problem, but life concerns, and how streaming takes a toll on your life in general, and to be a streamer, how it's not easy all the time. People think it's just you getting on playing games, making money, or just becoming famous through popularity, but it is a lot more detailed than that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot, and I agree with you, man. I appreciate you having me on. That's cool to talk. Next time we'll set it up more organized, as far as it would be cool to have the visual of each game we're talking about, or just general things like that could be really done. I think this is a dope graphic as far as like both of us looking like we're inside the scene, sitting here relaxing.
Gives me that New York feel. Subway station, Shadow the Hedgehog game, and some graffiti.
But yeah, man, I'm about to get out of here myself, man. It's been good. Let's get into some games, man. I don't know. You don't play Division? You don't play?
I have, but I was really waiting on my wife on it, because it's like one of the only games we play together. So she wanted me to keep at a low level so that everything's not too difficult for her. But she just completely gave up on it. So I started the grind late. So I'm behind. I think I'm like 300 gear score, 350s, and I'm like,
well,
everybody's.
Listen, you play with me for an hour, and I'll give you all 500 gear.
Do it.
And that, right? As I get it. And then you could have done that today, because that's what I was doing. I was just grabbing gear. I would have given it to you right away, and then you're maxed out, and now all you got to do is just
complete the strongholds.
Complete the strongholds, and you're good to go. You're gonna do them easily, because at level 500 you pop off so easy. I did that for a couple friends, and they get on there and drew the shit story. So you'll be good to go.
Just made it to 499. Yo, yeah, my boy Kcast plays it a lot too. So he's been jumping in the stream with me when I streamed it a couple of days, just helping me grind. He actually helped me get to the level 30 grind. He was the power level that was just carrying me through the difficult missions.
Yeah, I'm down to help. I'm down to help, man. We got a little crew. Yeah, just let me know when y'all want to get on. We'll just jump on.
It's definitely more than just strongholds. I found that out too, but I think it's the strongholds just to right now, just to unlock like tier 3, tier 4, and get into the tiers. So you need to complete the strongholds.
Once you get to 300, once you get to 30, once you reach 30, you put on the gear. You have to do the strongholds. You have to do 2 missions for each stronghold to unlock it. Then you do the strongholds. After you finish all of them, going to reset the world tier. You're gonna open up world tier 3, 4, 5, and then you're gonna get to the last one. The last one, you're gonna do the main stronghold, which is Kcode Basin. Finish that, you have other things to unlock as far as.
Bro, we went so off subject. This is supposed to be the outro, but now we talking about Division. We had to keep it Kcast right now. Just give out a Kcast shout out.
Anyway,
I'm going into that.
But no, so we get up, man. Y'all can hit me up on the page every time. I'm never online, but I'm online. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's invisible,
my
basically.
It's offline, but if you hit me up, I'll come through and help out. Definitely do that. I'll get you all 500 gear and then get you to play.
But again, guys, I shouted out MagGamer. Please check out his channel. Thank you again for stopping by to the channel. I'm gonna go offline for a moment just so I can let you know the vodcast close, so that I can post all of this to YouTube and have it on a separate separate accord, and then I'm gonna start my stream live back up again and stream some Smash Bros. I had someone in chat earlier challenge me. You know, I don't be forgetting my challenges, so I'm gonna have to give him the hands tonight. So, so again, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys have any feedback or criticism, I have a whole section in my Discord that you guys can write things that you think I can use to improve. Different things, if it was audio issues, or cinematics, cutscenes, pixelating, if I have to change the quality maybe so that you can watch it on mobile compared to yourself. I take all that type of feedback, and it's, like I said, it's never something that I would take to heart where I say, hey, you're trying me, I'm not doing that. I always take it as something I could improve on, because everybody's opinion count, because I try to make it fit for everybody's persona. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Mag, thank you again for being able to show up in short notice, and appreciate you, man. Gotta catch up sometime, play some games together.
For sure. Peace and love to everybody out there, man. Thank you, guys.
Peace, peace, peace. You already know I'm gonna play the outro credits roll. Let's